Welcome to Captain Cappy Gaming, Palworld Edition. It's time to craft, catch, and survive. Let's dive in.
Did you know that Palworld and Terraria had a crossover? Now, you may have noticed things like the Meowmere and other things in the technology tree, but most of it is actually locked behind this hidden dungeon over on the island by the volcano that is never mentioned, so a lot of people might not even know about it. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to show you guys everything there is in this dungeon and how to get it. The first thing we hear after loading into the Terraria dungeon is Terraria's beautiful soundtrack. Very nostalgic for me. I'm a massive Terraria fan. Which also makes seeing these Terraria trees in 3D a little weird, but they're cool. Unfortunately, we can't mine them for any resources, but there is these hollowed bars that we can mine from. You'll see like these gold doors later on in the caves. And you also get them from just killing any mobs, as well as breaking the pots that we see. I take out my Yakumo to start collecting all the different types of mobs in the Terraria dungeon, because even though they may not be that useful in base, or even have a Palpedia number, so they don't give you that nice 5 catching bonus, I still like to have them in my collections. Coming into the second room, it's pretty similar to the first room with the green and blue slimes, but this time there'll also be some wandering demon eyes that we can catch. After going to the left through this tunnel, we end up actually finding some normal pals to our surprise. There are things like Dazzys and Demud guilds, and sometimes even Herbals.
Yep.
After going a bit further into the cave, we find one of Terraria's classic underground houses. This place is decked out with cool furnitures and paintings, which I really wish that we can craft. There's also a basement down here that will have 2 chests, but they're booby-trapped with arrows, so watch out. After exploring the many side rooms, getting all the chests and breaking all the urns, and of course getting a bit lost because this place is actually quite massive, we end up finding another one of these houses, which ends up leading us down into the caves.
Yeah. What?
In the underground mushroom biome, we end up finding things like shroomers, shroomer knocks, red and purple slimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. Yup. Oh.
After exploring the Mushroom Cave layer, we ended up going down until we found the Hollowed biome. Here we find Illuminati bats, slimes, and even some hollow swords.
Wow.
And here, these big gold rocks are the hollowed bars I was talking about. You could break these with either a pickaxe, or if you have a mount like Astagon that also works great, this will drop like 10 to 20 hollowed bars, and it'll also unlock the path for whatever room it's blocking. After fully exploring the hollowed biome, we end up finding our way to the final boss of the dungeon, the Eye of Cthulhu. This guy is a level 45 dark type boss, and he is actually quite tricky. He's very similar to the hard mode Eye of Cthulhu from Terraria. He will spawn a bunch of smaller demon eyes until you get him half health, where he'll go into his raging mode. I end up actually losing one of my pals here because I wanted to catch this guy so bad, but I used all my good spheres on the enemies before. I even end up going down myself. This is how bad I want to catch this boss. But unfortunately, the spheres and the luck just isn't there, so we have to end up killing this guy. And finally, after the long-fought battle with the Eye of Cthulhu, we can grab these two chests at the end of the dungeon, where we have a chance to get all sorts of schematics for the Terraria weapons, as well as hollowed bars, skill fruits, and there's a guaranteed chance to get the Celestial Sigil schematic, which we use to summon the Moon Lord, a level 50 raid boss. Also, earlier in the dungeon, with all the other side chests we've collected, we got things like the Excalibur schematic, as well as pieces for the hollowed gear. After going back to base to sort everything out, this is all the Terraria specific loot that we got. We also got a lot of like mushrooms and gold and other stuff, but this is the main focus. Now, this was just one of our runs, so I'm going to do this dungeon some more times to get some revenge on the Eye of Cthulhu, as well as to grind out some of those other schematics. This time, I was giving no mercy. I let my Astagun run wild, and he absolutely destroyed the Eye of Cthulhu, not even giving me a chance to try and catch it.
Yep. What?
This time around, we got the uncommon Terrorblade schematic. Let's go back to base and craft this thing up. All it took to craft this thing was a bit of Palmetal ingots, as well as the hollowed ingots, and now we have the Terrorblade. At green, this thing does 467 damage, and it shoots these giant blade projectiles that seem to go on for a super long time, and they also go through walls. This weapon is pretty awesome. Now, once again, let's go try this thing out on the Eye of Cthulhu while I grind out some more schematics. So, at the moment, the Terrorblade is definitely not the highest damaging weapon in the game, but it is pretty nice being a melee weapon and not using any ammo. And then would you look at that? From these chests, I just got the gold vortex blaster. I'm excited to use this thing, so let's craft it up. Because this thing is a golden schematic, it's going to take a whopping amount of materials, like 400 hollow bars, 240 palmetal ingots, as well as some electric organs. But once we craft this thing up, I'm sure it'll be worth it. This gold vortex beater has an attack of 450, and it also shoots out these homing explosives every once in a while, as well as having a 66% chance not to consume ammo when we're firing. It also looks like this thing uses assault rifle ammo, so I'm going to craft some of that, and then you know the drill. We're going to test it out on the Eye of Cthulhu.
Wow. Yeah.
And with the no-looker, that should be the Eye of Cthulhu caught. We only had to use, what, 55? No, 45 bullets to take down that guy all on our own. And also, of course, this world has the normal damage settings. I did not touch that at all. Anyways, let's go see what we got from this dungeon. And here we got yet another weapon called the Nightglow. The Nightglow shoots out these rainbow homing projectiles. Now, they don't do a whole lot of damage, but if you're trying to evade from a boss, you could just be holding this while doing constant damage, and it could be useful in some situations. After testing out the Nightglow, I decided to do a bit of off-camera grinding. And from that, I was able to get the last weapon we were looking for, the Terra Prisma. Now this thing is a beast. And as you can see, it took me a lot of tries to get this. I had to run the dungeon almost 16 times before I was able to get this schematic, but in the end, I think it's worth it. Very quickly, I'm going to give you guys a little showcase resume of everything that we just got from this dungeon. As you guys may have already noticed, I'm wearing the hollow armor. This thing looks sick and has some pretty good defenses as well. Then we also have the Excalibur, which shoots out these small golden projectiles that aren't very far range, but they still are something. Here we're testing it out on this Mammoth Forest. And then if we switch over to our Terra Blade, as you guys saw before, this thing shoots these big green projectiles that shoot very far and could also go through walls. Then we have the Terra Prisma. This thing shoots out these homing swords that will fight for you. I think you can summon up to 9 at a time. And these things will just constantly tear apart the boss. You don't even have to hold it out. You could just be dodging while these guys do the work. Then there's also the gun, which is the Vortex Blaster. This thing is basically a overpowered assault rifle that shoots explosives and has a 66% chance not to use ammo. And then lastly, there's our Night Glow, which we just went over with the homing projectiles. But the damage is not the best on this guy, so maybe not the best one to have in your weapon slots. Overall, not only was the Terraria crossover very entertaining, it also has some very good weapons. I hope you learned something from this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. It's completely free and would help me out a lot. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.